Hey folks,
Hey gang,
I'm John.
and I'm Will,
And
you asked for it.
Holiday edition.
Here we are, holiday
It's
edition.
the season.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Here we are again.
Yep, here we go.
Great. Well, we got a lot of awesome questions. It was one of the first times we've ever done like a campaign like that with Facebook and Instagram. We got a lot of great questions, and we're really going to do our best to answer all of them, but these were our real favorites. Wouldn't you say these were our favorites?
Oh yeah, it was really hard to choose.
It was pretty hard to choose.
It was
In fact, we had to choose 5.
We choose 5.
Yep. So we're going deep in the well, and we're gonna throw out a couple more things for you guys for bringing those questions in. So thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna add to the mediocrity of our prizes.
Yeah, exactly. So let's roll this. Let's do this.
Great. Well, from Instagram, Western Flywater, which that covers a lot of territory.
It does.
I think a lot about Instagram names, but we'll get into that later. Western Flywater asks, what conditions would you recommend switching to T17 over T14 when winter steelheading? Or just mend the T14 more? Yeah.
Good question.
When it's all said and done, the sink rate of T17 is only 1 to 2 inches per second faster than T14. So unless you're fishing a heavier grain Skagit line, like a 575, 600 on up, casting T17 isn't going to be much fun. And you don't gain that much more. So
Totally agree. I think where I would go first before switching to T17 is longer pieces of T14, going to 12 and a half feet. Boy, I haven't cast a 15-foot piece of T in a long time, T14, but potentially, because once you get to that bigger piece of or that larger T17, a lot of our rods just, especially the rods we choose around here, mostly 7s and stuff, they just kind of start to hit the wall. And then also, going to talk a little bit about the fly and the fly size. So there's some options for getting down, I think, before going to that heavier stuff that are worth doing. That would be my suggestion.
Not just mending, but changing the angle of your cast and the weight of your fly, like you mentioned. A lot of variables go into picking a sink tip, but I think it's easy to overthink sometimes.
It is easy to overthink, and water speed has so much to do with sink rate, and there's a lot of stuff there, enough for an entire other segment.
Yeah, but my advice would be go experiment.
Yep.
Go experiment on, a piece of water that you know.
Yeah, lastly, I can think of a handful, a dozen places that I love to fish, and I know exactly what tip I'm using for what situation and what water height. So that's you just got to experiment, find what you like, what works. Sweet. All right, moving on. 541 Flyfish asks, what are some of the differences between the Loon Flow thin and thick, and what applications do you use them in? And this is the Loon UV glues, if you're not familiar with them. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the differences are, one's thin, one kind of flows out, and the other one's thick.
That's right.
And when you want something thin, use the thin one. When you want something kind of flows, and it really just depends on how much you want to build up the head. The thinner ones penetrate the thread more, whatever you're applying it to. We had Matt Callies from Loon here last year for Bug and Brew, and he used this, that, and the other. And so when he wanted to build up a big chunk of something,
I remember that.
He would use the thick. And if you're putting a flashback on a Copper John, you might want the thick. You can make multiple applications with the thin and the flow, but it really just depends on how much you want to build up, how fast.
Agreed. My strongest suggestion is always going to be the one that we have in stock too. So yeah. Moving on.
So come on in and find out.
Yeah.
Domitage Sizzle 3. It's like a Italian rapper.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Domitage Sizzle.
Yep.
Off of Instagram. Winter steelhead is coming up, and they're known to take bigger flies. What are your guys' favorite techniques to add fullness and profile to an intruder style fly? You got to prop up your materials. So if you're using, if your wiggly materials are, ostrich or whatever, you got to prop them up. There's different ways to prop them up, and that's a full class. But whether you create a big dubbing ball or you use a feather like a turkey flat to prop it up, or both, or you make a big dubbing loop with multiple materials stacked in. But you have to prop it up to help the profile, and then fullness. You don't want it too full. Mm-hmm. You want to be able to cast it. You want to be able to sink. So
hard to hop in here sitting next to John Hazlett, but yeah, I would agree with everything there. Just sparing materials that add a lot of movement and a lot of life without a lot of bulk. I mean, that's really what we talk about a lot in here when you're choosing flies. So even simple chenilles, larger chenilles, the new dubbing brushes and the wire loops, those are phenomenal for that, and just coming over the top with those. So with ostrich and things like that, that's what I would suggest.
Good call. Now, before we move on, in the spirit of giving, Will, I got you a little something.
What?
And
it's totally unscripted. You're going off script.
Means a lot to work for you, and I put a lot of thought into this gift.
I'm touched.
And so go ahead and open it.
I'm a little nervous.
Go ahead and open it.
Oh hell yes! Hell yes!
I just didn't want you to feel like you weren't in the spirit of the season.
So good, dude.
So because I consider you family, one of the traditions in my family is when someone gives you clothing, you try it on right then. So I think we got to make sure it fits.
So do you think you can handle the next question while I
think you should put that thing right on.
Okay,
right now.
I'll put it on right now.
You might have to stand up. So I'll start. You want me to start with the next question?
Good. Fire away.
Steelhead Trout off of Instagram. Steelhead Trout. Could you choose...
I'm back. What do you think?
Well, it looks great. I think I got the right size.
I think I'm rolling all day with this.
I wore my Christmas sweater, so I'm glad you wore yours today. That looks great.
I don't know what to say.
I mean, I got the size right. I got the sweater vest because I know you like to wear a lot of Sims shirts and Patagonia shirts.
Absolutely.
And so I wanted to, you'd still be able to do that.
That's right. I can still say, this is what we're looking at for the arm.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. This is something I will certainly wear today.
Yeah, and that's will add to your core warmth, a great layering piece.
Agreed. I'm feeling it now.
So Steelhead Trout from Instagram asks, could you choose one body of water, say the Rogue, and walk us through when you would fish the various sections based on the season and flow? Not looking for favorite spots, just generalities.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Wide and long.
That's unprecedented. That's unprecedented.
That's unprecedented amount of information that could result from that.
Well, our guide trips are $4.95 per day, one or two people.
Our phone number is 541-488-6454.
And we have plenty of openings in the next week.
Yeah.
This is a long drawn out. We could write a book on this. Water conditions come into play early in the season when the water's warm, the fish are up high.
Good call.
Or the water's cooler.
Yep, that's what I would say. Simply water, looking at water temp at at the beginning of the year when the run is starting, the fish are moving up into that cooler water quicker. So we do have some opportunities earlier that the lower sections of the river don't necessarily have, but that's being simple. Once we get to the water temp not being a factor, then pretty much the whole middle to upper river is like just cruising.
Yep. And then learning winter flows and what you can fish at winter flows, that's just something you got to go out and try.
Yeah, and what spots and stuff.
And you can always call us, say, hey, how's it looking today?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, anytime. Well, we're down to our last question.
We're down to our last questions. Pretty much pointed at you, I think. Yeah.
Does that mean I should read it?
I do think so, yeah.
So John Christensen, JC, from Facebook, he asked, John, what kind of conditioner do you use for those lovely locks? I'm a pert man myself, says John.
He's giving a lot away there.
I don't even think John has hair.
I don't think he does either.
Yeah, I know he has a lot of body hair, so maybe he just does pert on a one of those scrunchy things and just conditions his whole body.
That could be. Yeah, getting just covering everything that way.
John, I look at sculpting my hair like building an intruder. You want a good profile without bulk.
True.
And good movement.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Yeah. And so it's not something it's not a 2-minute question or answer.
Yeah.
It would take time.
I mean, the last time we talked about it, we really spent a lot of time on it last time. So
we did. So I go to the salon. I rely on the experts for their consult and advice.
As you should.
And it's seasonal too. There's times of the year when I want a different profile, or I need materials that hold up when the humidity is. So the product involved is really key. Mm-hmm. But it's seasonal.
Or if you're if you're in like a real hat, like a real hat wearing phase, or if you're going without the lid, there's a lot of choices in there.
Yeah, a lot of variables, John. But we appreciate the question.
Absolutely.
And PM me, and I'll send you a list of the products I use.
I'm just straight head and shoulders. There's not much going on there. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun.
That's great. Always a great time.
We're going to send out prizes to. We'll contact the folks here to figure out how to get these prizes.
We're going to be getting right on that this afternoon.
We're all over it.
We're all over it. Thank you very much.
And don't forget that you asked for it.
You asked for it, and here it is. Thanks again. Happy holidays, everyone.
Merry Christmas.